I'm going to give you 10 reasons why Texas football's here to stay. They're not just back, and I think they're back right now. But I like what Chip Patterson had to say on the Cover 3 podcast, that Texas just isn't back. Texas is here. They're 38-17 under Steve Sarkisian since he arrived, and 7 of those losses came in year 1, where they had to do a total program reset, hit the dynamite, blow everything up, ignite the dynamite or ignite the C4, whatever analogy you want to use. They had to blow everything up, including the foundation, and build it back. They have back-to-back college football playoff semifinal appearances, and they put 11 and then 12 players in the 2024 and 2025 NFL draft, including 5 first-rounders. We'll talk about that a little bit more here, but let's get to the 10 reasons. Reason number 1 is program humility. Program humility. Now, what do I mean by program humility? What do I mean by Texas being humble? Don't they flash the Lamborghinis? Don't they pay kids a bunch of money to go there? What do I mean by that? Well, what I mean by this is that Steve Sarkisian has a history of not being as good of a coach as he was now. He has a history of the whole incident where he got fired due to essentially alcohol abuse at USC, showing up to practice incredibly inebriated. He's open about that. And I think he's also open to criticism. And he seems like a guy who, unlike some coaches who bark at fans or who stubbornly say, well, I had to do this even though it lost us the game, looking at some Big Ten coaches even, and I think the Big Ten is the best coaching in the land, but they also have some stubborn guys. My feeling of Steve Sarkisian is that he's someone who can say, yeah, I messed this up. And he can say that publicly. And he's also open about the fact that he used to make mistakes and he wasn't the same person that he is now. That self-reflection, to be able to do that publicly, that breeds wins. Because if you can self-reflect like that in public, imagine the thought processes and evaluations that you're doing in private with your staff, with your players, with the direction of your program. Sarkisian has prior coaching experience, which I think is what makes him the best roster constructor in football and one of the best CEOs. Game management's a little bit of a different conversation, but they've improved there under him too. Before we resume this segment, please take a few seconds of your time to make sure you have liked the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for the channel and for any team podcasts and playlists linked in the description, and also comment your thoughts down below in the comment section and join my Discord server via the description. All of those things I just asked you to do are completely free, and they sign you up for things related to my channel, or they don't sign you up for anything. No cost to you, and all the benefit to you because we release daily college football content here on College Football with Sam. If you want to support the channel monetarily, sign up for a YouTube membership or check any other links in the description for my merchandise store and Patreon page. Thank you very much, and let's get back to the segment. I think that he has made the program, well, they definitely have a kick in their step. I think they have some humility there too that plays to their advantage. Number 2 is their elite development. We've talked about this already. 23 players taken in the NFL draft since the 2024 draft, with 5 taken in round 1. That's more than Ohio State. That is, I believe, let me check this, looking at 2024. Doing a little bit of live research here I know I'm guilty of, but I know it's more than Ohio State because Ohio State brought everyone back. It is more than USC. It's more than Notre Dame. It's more than Michigan. It's just straight up, it's more than Michigan. And I think, if I'm wrong, it's either tied Georgia or one guy ahead of them. And I also believe, yes, it's more than Alabama. More than Penn State. It's just, look at that. It's more than Clemson. Who has put more people in the NFL draft over the last 2 drafts? You can probably only name Georgia. Only. That's crazy. That is elite development right there. And they use the portal at times, yes, but Ewers was from the portal, and Ewers was a bust in the sense of going from a 5-star recruit, number 1 overall, to only being picked in the 7th, 6th round. Was a bust in terms of potential. A lot of their high school bread and butter players have been developed at a phenomenal level, among the best in America. Number 3 is elite recruiting. Sark has always signed top 10 classes there, more often than not top 5. Last year he recruited the number 1 class of 2025. And in 2026, they have one of the better quality classes overall. And they have the number 1 kicker, number 1 punter, number 1 long snapper. They have an elite D-line class. Unlike a lot of the other D-line classes, they got Tyler Atkinson in recruiting, who we'll talk about in a different segment, a later segment on recruiting. I cannot stress to you how Texas, from my perspective, is that program who is the closest to the 2010s programs, where they are just stacking talent and stacking talent and stacking talent. That has to do with their physicality, their elite strength and conditioning. Their players are athletic, they're fast, they're tough. And the roster has improved every season Sark has been there. Every single season. Every season. Also, it's reason number 10, but I'll just skip around because why not? It's fun. The deepest pockets in the sport. I mean, I think only Oregon, USC, maybe Michigan, in terms of just raw elite Texas Tech too, in terms of having like top end donors who can just drop a bag and get anyone they want. Like no one's safe from those specific donors at those schools. Like Ellison at Michigan. I forget the Texas Tech guy, but billionaire former offensive lineman. Texas with their oil money. Phil Knight for Oregon. USC, I think, kind of has a collective of donors, although maybe I'm wrong. Like kind of a hive mind there that is in alignment with, you know, the staff and different things. It's impressive that they've signed that class. But Texas, what they've done with their roster, and the fact that, for those of you who say they aren't back, look, they won the Big 12 in 2023. They nearly won the SEC in 2024. They are the only program who's made the semifinals 2 years in a row. They're the only program on an active streak of more than 1 year of going to the semifinals. Penn State, Notre Dame, and Ohio State weren't there in 2023. Notre Dame wasn't even close. They weren't. They lost 3 games in the regular season. Penn State got made. They were made by Ohio State and Michigan in 2023. Had no offense in big games. And then we all know the story. We all know it. What happened with Ohio State in 2023? They probably deserved to be in. I thought they were a top 4 team that year, but they lost to Michigan with how it was set up and how the fact that you had so many other teams that won 11 games, they were never getting in. They were never, unless you didn't have divisions, and therefore they had another shot at Michigan the following week in the Big Ten championship game. And then Michigan missed. Washington missed because they both went from going 12-0 to 7-5 or worse. And then obviously Alabama didn't make it. Texas right now, in terms of reaching the semifinals, is the most consistent program, along with maybe like, you know, Georgia, Ohio State are in that conversation, but Alabama isn't anymore. And then you go from that to, they went from choking games in 21 and 22. You'd build leads, then you'd blow said leads. In 23 and 24, they build leads, and then maybe they surrender some of it, but they don't really choke them away. They don't. I mean, they tried to choke it at times against Alabama in 23, still won by double digits. And against Washington, they didn't really choke that game. They were just never in the lead. They were playing catch-up. It was the same thing with Ohio State last year. They were competing. They could have easily won those games, but they were never in the lead in that specific game. And you play the game once. You don't play it 10 times, for example. They're just on the doorstep. And something else that's encouraging is the fact that defense wins championships. And Texas has figured out defense. Only Ohio State, with the nation's best defensive coordinator in Jim Knowles, fielded a superior defense to the Longhorns last year. And per ESPN's FPI, Texas actually had the best defense in America. It was better than Ohio State's and Notre Dame's, who were a whole tier below those in efficiency. I disagree with that, but I also understand the logic. I think Ohio State's defense had a higher ceiling, but they didn't have the same balanced roster, weaker at corner, while Texas was stronger there and closer to Ohio State overall in the roster standpoint on defense. And they also, Texas's defense, I know for a fact, because their corners were better and because of what they did to Ohio State's wide receivers, like they didn't stop them, but they limited them better than anyone else's corners did, they wouldn't have given up 32 points to Oregon, even though it was on the road. They wouldn't have. So I disagree with it, but I also understand why ESPN's FPI viewed it that way. Number 9 is staff continuity. Sark is an elite staff and is entering year 5 with him as the head coach and the same OC, defensive coordinator, and special teams coach. And reason number 10 is they have top 5 pockets in the sport, which we already went over. Those are my 10 reasons why Texas football is here to stay. Whether you want to say they're back or here to stay, I prefer to change it and say this is why Texas football is here to stay. They are elite in so many ways. I think their only weaknesses right now is Sark has got to figure out in-game management and just move from great to elite there. But everything else, there's a good chance Texas is the number 1 program in football moving forward, given the reasons I provided. Thank you for watching College Football with Sam. Make sure that you've liked the video, subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell for the channel and team playlists and podcasts in the description, joined the free Discord server where we talk college football 24/7, and have commented your thoughts down below. Check out the description for any ways you can support the channel monetarily. Everything else I've asked you to do is completely free, and your support means the world to me. We're trying to become the next big thing on college football YouTube. 6-figure subscribers, maybe 1 million one day. I think we can do that. And also check out any videos or playlists, anything in these columns right here, where there will be videos and playlists. Yeah, you get the point. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one.